This is a video on the types of hair color and the effects that they have on the hair. There's two main categories of hair color. You have oxidative and non-oxidative. Non-oxidative color is going to be temporary color and semi-permanent color. A temporary color is going to be like your Roof, Fanciful, things like that nature, your rinses, and those are direct dyes, meaning there's no developer, no oxidant to develop the dye molecules. They only coat the hair shaft. This is not a chemical change to the hair, and the dye molecules will shampoo out of the hair. Then you have a semi-permanent, which is slightly alkaline to penetrate the hair shaft. These are also direct dyes. These are going to be like your Manic Panic, your Arctic Fox, your Strawberry Leopard, Beyond the Zone color. I don't think that exists anymore, actually. Those are going to be your semi-permanents. Those are going to last for a few weeks. Sometimes they stay in the hair and stay for longer. Just depends. Then you get into your oxidative colors, which are your demi-permanent and your permanent. A demi-permanent, also known as oxidative without ammonia, or long-lasting semi-permanent. I've never heard it called that, but these use a low volume of developer for a deposit. They cannot lift or lighten. A true demi-permanent cannot lift or lighten. I've seen some demi-permanents that claim to be able to lift 1 or 2 levels, such as like the Redken Shades EQ Cover Plus can lift 1 to 2 levels, and it's mixed with 20 volume. But there is no ammonia, as far as I know, in that hair color. Then you have permanent color, which is oxidative color with ammonia. Now they make permanent colors without ammonia as well. They use another ingredient I'm not educated on, unfortunately. These have smaller molecules that enter the hair and link together. They can lift and lighten. They contain PPD, and they remain in the hair until removed or cut out. So you can use a color remover to remove you can use a color remover to remove permanent dye molecules, or you can cut it out, but it is a permanent change. The ammonia breaks down the natural pigment in the hair, exposes undertones, and then the permanent color deposits dye molecules. Then you also have lighteners. These break down pigment until it can no longer absorb light. This is called oxidation. They need to be mixed frequently to avoid product degradation. You have on-scalp and off-scalp lighteners. On-scalp lighteners are oil and cream, and they contain conditioners. They sometimes have additives to increase alkalinity. And with on-scalp lighteners, you don't want to go over 20 volume. There's some people that will use 30. I have seen people use 40 volume on scalp. I do not recommend it. Most of the time you're going to end up with some kind of, at a minimum, some kind of irritation. At the worst, you can burn the scalp. You can have permanent hair loss and permanent scarring from using 40 volume with the wrong lightener on your scalp. Especially if you're going to add heat to it. Most lighteners today, it is not recommended that you add heat to them. It's just not necessary. You want to, as I was saying, you want to process that hair low and slow. It's better to let a lower volume, like 20 volume, sit on your scalp or even in foils for a longer period of time than to use a higher volume of developer and to try to rush that process, because you're going to have more damage. Off scalp lighteners. These are powder, and there are powder lighteners that you can use on scalp too. But these are just notes that I took from a cosmetology book. So powder lighteners, they're stronger and faster than oil and cream. A lot of them have violet toners built into them, but this can be deceiving. First of all, just because a lightener is blue or purple does not mean that it actually has pigments to neutralize. That is just sometimes the color of the powder. And even when they do have toners built in, they don't work that great in my opinion, honestly. The hair still has the warm undertones to it. But what I find is that they actually can trick you into thinking that the hair is lighter than it really is. So when you're using a bleach that is blue or purple colored, you want to check that by taking and using a towel and wiping off that product and laying the hair on like a white paper towel or a piece of cotton and actually seeing what color that hair strand is, because the hair may be more yellow still than you think. Then you have your clay lighteners, which form a shell, and these are great for balayage. You tend to lay them on a lot thicker, and they form a shell on the outside, and they stay wet on the inside, and they process the hair in open air lightning. We have Developer. This is good for about a year if you keep your lid on tight. A lot of people refer to it as volume or lift. The proper term is Developer. It comes in various strengths from as low as 5 volume up to 40. 40 is the highest you'll usually see in most beauty supply stores, but they do make 50 and even higher volumes than that are typically only available to licensed professionals. Yeah, and it comes in clear and cream or gel formulas. The most common type is a cream Developer. And sometimes a lot of brands want you to use the Developer that comes with their color line. That is usually what is recommended, but there are like just standard or generic versions of Developer that you can buy. Like Salon Care is one. Trionics is a brand that they make like enzyme developers. They make something called Grey Be Gone, I think. And it's like a 17 volume developer. So in my experience, it doesn't hurt to switch your developers with color brands. I've done it quite a lot and nothing bad has ever happened. Redken used to make a product called Chromatics that had a special dedicated developer, and that you did want to mix with it because your color would be a weird runny consistency if you did it. But other than that, in my experience, it doesn't hurt to mix your developers. So I think that is all for this video. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.